crown. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready or not, the clock is counting. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Oh, a legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try and take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. You know I'm out for blood. I'm feeling dangerous. I just can't get enough. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready or not, the clock is counting down. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Whoa, legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try to take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. I am the champion. I know where I'm going. I have been chosen. I'll never be broken. I am the champion. A clashing of titans, a battle of giants. Take a moment of silence. I am the champion. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Whoa, legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try to take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. I am the champion.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Race Into the Weekend number 70. And today we are at Suzuka Circuit in Japan. And we have some sponsors here as well: Simix Pro, RGB Solutions, Holy Energy, and our motto is still never give up. What can we see today? Suzuka International Racing Course, 5,807 kilometers long. And the grandstand capacities of the track, I have to say, is 155,000. And the track was opened in 1962. We have some dry tires with the yellow and a rain tire with the black belt, we have to say it. And let's have a look at the track. Start finish, Sector 1, Sector 2 and Sector 3. 276 kilometers per hour. My estimation is that. 18 turns on an elevation of 46 meters here. So difficult track. We have the S-corners, turn 4, 5 and 6. And as I said, maybe the most difficult track in ACC as well, and maybe of the world. Then the hairpin and turn number 11, braking at full speed. The corner is difficult. You are just turning in and waiting for it every time. Turn 16 and 17, the casino triangle. Many will want to try to overtake, but I think many will fail as well here. And let's go to the track. And with me in the box today as well is Mr. Impulse. Welcome, mate.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Excited to see. What do you think? I think it's the most difficult track. And you?
Yeah, it's a track I've had a sort of very intermittent success at in the past. So it can prove quite tricky for the drivers here on track. And all you need is a little bit of rain or a colder track, and all of a sudden it proves exceptionally difficult. So it'll be an interesting 3 races I think we've got ahead of us.
Absolutely, and I was wrong. It wasn't the it was the Casio, and I said Casino. Sorry for that. Indeed, Mr. Commentator. In the chat as well, Tom taught him well. Good evening, Depples. Hi, Guru. Hi, Depples. Freebirds, fuck off, go away, and I never want to see you in the chat again. He did something for us today, and I think one person will be lucky because I can tell you. Should I play it? Already?
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
Let's see if this works, because he was too dumb to get his microphone working, so he sent me a soundbite of it. Okay, that will be enough, because with all the respect, I think... when I would have a son of 3 years old and he would play the piano, he would be better at it. But that was Juan playing the flamenco live on stream. He did it live here, so I just recorded it because he's tired and he was gone. So rest well, mate.
You're saying it's standard tuning as a guitarist yourself, man. That is not standard. I don't know what that was, but that was not a normal guitar tuning.
A cat fight sounds better.
So, there you go. That's a thing.
Ooh, switching cameras here. So let's go to the track, because qualifying is is busy at this point, and the people are out doing their out laps, and let's see what times they can do. At the moment, the track is fast. We have some clouds, but not a wiper check, to be honest. So it's still dry, and I think I never driven it in the rain, to be honest.
It's exceptionally difficult in the rain. We did a lot of practice going into the 12 hours of Suzuka last year. And exceptionally difficult for the drivers because a lot of the corners seem to fall away for the drivers. The first sector tends to be quite level and quite easy to get through. But as we approach that third sector and through sort of Spoon and out of the hairpin and that sort of direction, every corner falls away from you slightly. So the drivers really struggle for grip, especially in either a cold or a wet surface. And it could prove quite tricky if the rain does come.
I can imagine, because I'm struggling every time when I'm on this track. I find it very difficult, and but we know we have some people here that don't agree with me, because they are like legends on the track. One of those guys is this one here, Desert Penguin. He's normally when we are in a team, he's like coaching people and doing setups. He's fast, he's furious. And to be honest, I didn't check who's leading the race into the weekend at this point.
Yes, very interesting. I've been away for a couple of weeks, but when I left, it was incredibly close between this man on your screen, Desert Penguin, and the person who's just ahead him provisionally on the standings, Thijs van der Hoorn. Obviously, our first quarter winner. He won through January through March's competition and sort of tournament, and those guys been battling it out all season long.
I'm just watching if the scorecard is it was 27-5. Yeah, it was last week, right? That's shocking. Thijs van der Hoorn is still in P1, followed by Chris Muller, Thomas Vrouwenraad, Swadimir Burek, and Steen Hilhorst. I don't know where our... where is he? He's not even on there. Oh, yeah, he is. He's somewhere in rank 11, place 11.
That's very surprising, to be honest. I expected him a lot higher up.
Yeah, I thought so as well, because he just said 2 minute 1.732. Vrouwenrad then with 2 minute 2. Chris Mueller 2 minute 2, and Robin Osing with a 2 minute 3. And Robin can go faster as well. So yeah, surprisingly indeed. But Thijs van der Hoorn is there, currently in a P5 position. 10 people in means number 1 get 10 points. So yeah, maybe if you are watching and you want to join, you can do that. Search for the DSRT server, have a safety rating of 70 and the track medals of 3, and you can join this event. It's a secret league racing.
Yeah, rather interesting for the drivers. I just want to throw caution to the wind already and mention Mr. Robin Osting. He should not be here this evening. If there's any driver on this grid that should not be here, I'm going to place Robin Osting above that. He's going to be doing the 24 Hours of Le Mans tomorrow. So instead of practicing last minute and making sure everything's right for the race, he's just decided to throw himself into racing for the weekend, which is always great to see. He knew that I was commentating it, and I was going to be asked to come into the commentary booth today, and I think he's just decided that he's going to have a bit of fun and we'll practice a bit later on. And yeah, he's had a lot of success in the past as Mr. Robin Osting. Me and him did a couple of races last year, a 10-hour and a 12-hour around this track, and he's no stranger to this track and that BMW. We did both those races in the BMW, probably using a very similar setup to what we were using, and yeah, I expect those lap times to fall from Mr. Robin Osting once he remembers how to drive.
Once you remember how to drive. He's used to Le Mans now, so give him a chance. I can see Niels Manshanden joining as Eddie Kaliski here puts in a 2 minute 7. That would be times that I will do at this point. Maybe slower. And yeah, there we are. Robin Osing, by the way, sorry, to the 3rd place, as Thomas Vrouwenrad takes the provisional pole, I have to say, and Desert Penguin in P2.
Yeah, I was just about to say, sorry, to go over the top of you there, Guru. It was interesting to note we are on a fast track and not an optimum track at this point. So a lot of people who are new to ACC, should we say, will explain that for you. There are 3 dry states in which the track can be. There are green, fast, and optimum. And optimum is obviously the best conditions you can have for the track, so therefore the fastest lap times will occur on that optimum track. And then the track temperature comes into play here. If you're new to sort of simulator games in total, the track temperature, basically a general rule of thumb to follow is the hotter the track goes, the slower your lap times will be because your tyres struggle a bit more. It's a bit more complex than that, but just as a general rule of thumb to follow. So 26 is roughly about normal. And like we say, we're on that fast, so that the second of the 3 fastest ways around the track. And as the session progresses, we'll go into that optimum state. So I expect these lap times to fall down, and you can see Robin Osting looking very strong at the moment. He's just starting to find the confidence in the car, just a little bit of the wiggle of the rear end as he was going through Spoon there, and starting to be able to place it and get some very fond memories of finishing 2nd place a couple of times last year in that car.
Absolutely, yes. People are still joining the server and leaving the server, I see. He's just at 14 now, 13. Stijn Hilhorst just joined as well in the pit in the McLaren. As Robin Osing isn't improving, he lost a lot of time in Sector 3 here. As you said, the rear was sliding a little bit, compromising the exit speed. And yeah, he lost some time. But still, 55 seconds to go. And yeah, people are improving at this point. Let's look at Bob Landy. Bob Landy from DSRT? Who the hell is Bob Landy from DSRT?
Well, I know a person that likes to change his name around a few times, and I also know a person that likes to drive the McLaren as well, and his name is Eric Mioch.
Yep.
So I'm gonna place my bets on it being Eric. And,
yeah, that could be it.
Just having a different name to race under today, and yeah, sporting the number 16. Which is your number, Mr. Guru, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my race number indeed. I create all the liveries in number 16, and you see people that don't change it joining in number 16. Swanmere in number 17. Chris Mueller in number 18. Robin Osing in number 19. So that's the order that they joined. So every time somebody joins, the number gets up. But yeah, number 16 is it's my lucky number. And yours were 392.
Yeah, mine was the very first number that got assigned to me in a race league, which was 392. Don't ask me why. It must have been a completely random number, but I've used it ever since.
Don't ask me why I remembered that.
You've just seen too many clips in the intro of...
Yeah. Oh, Robin Osing 2P5, but stopped the car here. And Desert Penguin still improving then. He's now coming over the start-finish line, and he's improving a lot, to be honest. So this could be a low 201. Will he get the pole position? That's a 201.152. That's an amazing time on a fast track there. And takes the pole position at this point. Let me see. Vrouwenraad's in the pits. Wexstrom is not improving and finished because he's just started. The only one is Mr. Bob Eric Neoglandi, I think, who's still on the lap. But yeah, he's too far away from that time, so that will be a pole position then from Desert Penguin.
Yeah, 201.1, incredibly rapid. The race last year that we attended, the 12 hours PLR charity race that we ended up raising quite a bit of money for charity. I can't remember which one. You'll have to forgive me on that. We saw the fastest lap of a 1 minute 59 come out from the alien that is Conrad Ciata. Expect these guys to be pretty close to that towards the end of race 3 if the track conditions do kind of improve and continue at the rate that they are going to. These guys have immense pace, and although we're only a lobby of 13, there'll be a race and a half ahead of us, I think, Guru.
Yeah, I think as well. Could be exciting, and hopefully everybody takes it clean in the first, the lap. Okay, yeah, Vrouwenraad's in the Porsche. I didn't notice that he drove the Porsche, to be honest. Chris Muller in the McLaren. Let me see, where's from? Yep, Bentley as always. So nice to see, and I expect a lot of him, to be honest. The last few races, Wexstrom was always in the front, and you could see it in the standings as well. What did I say? Top 2? I closed it again. I thought second or third he was, so he's climbing the ladder as well. Can I press drive now? Yes, I can.
Be.
Switcheroo on the screens here as, Desert Penguin then in P1, Vrouwenraad's P2, Chris Muller in P3, Wexstrom in P4, Robin Osing P5, Thijs van der Hoorn in P6, Nino Burek in P7, Mr. Landy then in P8, Pereira in P9, good to see him back, Kaliski in P10, Burek, the brother, in front of Swanimir. That's also new. Niels van Zande in 12 and Stijn Hilhorst in P13. And let's go to race number 1 of Racing to the Weekend. Number 70 already.
Wow, yes, number 70, and going to be getting this underway with the hands of Desert Penguin. Going to be starting off, like you say, Thomas Vrouwenraad choosing a different car. Going to be using the Porsches today. Very strong round this racetrack. Let's see where he can finish up. Watch out for my man in P5 then, Mr. Robin Ostin. He doesn't like being anywhere less than first. So this could all kick off. Thijs van der Hoorn choosing to use the Mercedes as well. Plenty of random cars from drivers that we don't expect as we get underway here. 20 minutes of racing here and waiting for lights out. And there we are. Green is a little bit delayed from what we saw there, but we are finally underway. And everybody's starting to form into suits 3 wide. Back into turn 1 there. And Robin Osting knowing better to just kind of stick on the inside there, as we can now see that's Chris Muller in the McLaren pulling alongside Thomas Vrouwenraad. And Nothing Wildstrom trying to get involved. Who's that? That's Thijs van der Hoorn and Robin Osting going side by side as we've got a car off in the background there. And that is Mr. Zvonimir Burek. I think he's got a pizza in hand and sadly unable to capitalise on that race start. They're still 2 wide, aren't they? Robin Osting and Thijs van der Hoorn in P5 and P6 there as they're fighting hard. But Chris Muller seems to have slotted himself into P3 at the moment and starting to run away now. The gap's slowly starting to form. Look at that already between Jonathan Markstrom and Thijs van der Holm is a 7/10 gap between the two drivers. There's absolute mayhem in the background going off, and Desert Penguin, great first half of the lap from him. He's starting to run away, as we can see Niels van Handen in this middle of a scrap, and the 22 of Stein Hilhorst basically phasing through him. Is this stem for the race start? You can do this, and I'm wondering if they finally...
Yeah, they changed something in it. I don't like it, to be honest, because we are a racing team and we are doing this stuff. But they changed the server setting. The first lap is no contact lap, so that's to avoid turn 1 mayhem. But as soon as they cross the line, people are like this. They are just sticking in the car here. After the first lap, the contact will jump on again, and then people will bounce each other off the track. This is like 3 races ago. I think it happened by a server setting, and they didn't change it back at this point. So we will see if people will notice that after this lap, like now, the contact is on.
Right, well, thanks for the explanation there. I didn't really know that was the thing, but now we are enabled with contact, shall we say, so racing can officially begin as everybody started to form. It's Desert Penguin that's run away there and already formed 8.5 tenths of a gap between that, and Chris Muller in P3, again, a similar sort of time, around the 8-9 tenths back to him. He's going to be fighting with Jonathan Markstrom. Watch out, that Bentley. Very strong in the corners, and under braking is that Bentley. And yeah, it's kind of very different from the mid-engine to the McLaren. That tends to be good in the mid-speed corners. As we can see, Stein Hilhorst now all over the back of Nino Burek. Going to be piling on the pressure, and it's Thijs van der Hoorn that somehow, somewhere off screen, has managed to find himself way past Robin Austin. And I know Robin all too well. I know he's not going to be happy with that. I'm going to be sticking on the back of Thijs to try and work further forward and try and get Jonathan Markstrom.
Yeah, and chat, shit, I forgot to change the setting. Last week it was the same, and the week before it started, I guess, like 2-3 weeks ago. So we have to have a look at that. It's no problem. It's kind of fun to see, but I have the feeling that some people have, there's no contact in here, so let's just go through them, and then we have a problem. But for now, everything is okay. I think the drivers will have noticed that it is now on, because everybody is cleanly racing. Desert Penguin with the fastest lap at 2 minutes 6:297, and the closest battle on track, as Pereira just goes a little bit wide, a lot wide, to be honest, losing some time here. Robin Oosting, like you said, on the tail then of Mr. Thijs van der Hoorn, and now in the slipstream of him. And can he make a move, as Wexstrom just put in the fastest lap time here, and 0.2 seconds only away from Chris Muller. So exciting battle there for P3 and P5. Yeah,
battles have been formed, and just going to say hello to a good friend of mine, Mr. Morten Pielman Jensen, in the Twitch chat. Hello, sir. I'm expecting you to drive, actually. I'm wondering where you were. But yeah, I'm in the commentary box. Look at this. Going back to the race at hand, though, and it is on your screen there, Mr. Robin Austin fighting with Thijs van der Hoorn here. And looking up the inside, there is Robin Austin. Great exit out of the S's, and sadly finds himself on the outside here. Trying to hang it round, isn't he? He's a bit brave, is this Robin Austin guy, and Thijs showing him what he's made of as he tries to make it as difficult as possible for Robin to get past. But all that's doing is allowing Nino Burek to close back up, and Stein Hilhorst. Don't rule him out in case there's any contact here between these drivers. It's now turning into a 5-way battle, so it's Thijs van der Hoorn, Robin Austin, Nino Burek, Stein Hilhorst, and Niels van Handen, who's just found himself on the back of this grid. And starting to form a good old scrap here in the mid-pack. Just keeping an eye on that battle as well between Chris Muller and Jonathan Wexstrom. The gap still at 2 tenths. So it looks like Chris on this particular lap has started to find a little bit of pace there. And Yeah, it's all up and down the grid. Great battles forming, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And Thijs van der Hoorn leading this train. Looks like we have to rename it to Alonso. After the last race on Monaco, the Alonso train. It used to be the Truly train. Yeah, we can choose what name suits him better. Because he's in P5 and 0.3 seconds behind him is Robin Oosting, then Nino Burek on 0.7 in my standings here, and Stijn Hilhorst following closely on 0.3. So that's nice to see, Mr. of Defense, Thijs van der Hoorn. Indeed. Desert Penguin just took the fastest lap again, 2 minute 1:7.62, and that's almost half a second quicker than the rest. As Nino just made a little mistake here, I thought, because it jumped to yellow. I didn't even see what's happening. Oh, there is a push from... who was that? Niels?
Yeah, a push from Niels, and I'm not sure if it was on turn 1. There was a slight bit of contact between himself and Stein, and that's why Stein's just pulled over to one side, allowed Nino to get back past. It looked like it was just a little bit running a little bit deep from thingy. You can see person in second place, Thomas Ramrats, already with that drive-through after only 7 minutes of racing as well.
Yeah, he had an off track here because his time is a rat, and I think he had a few of them. So yeah, that means a penalty then for Vrouwenrad indeed. That will cost him a lot of time, to be honest, because it isn't that far that the cars are behind. There's a Penguin here then leading that pack with the fastest lap. 1.8, 1.7 seconds away from Thomas Vrouwenrad, who will, I think, goes to the pits and will come out last. Disappointing for Mr. Vrouwenrad. As Waxstrom here is on the attack now, and here it comes. Is that? Oh, that's a nice overtake. That was fully over speed here.
Yeah, very smart from Mr. Chris Muller. I'm not sure if he did lift, but he would have been wise to do so going into 130R. It never ends well going too wide through there. And Chris, knowing that, is starting to realise he's probably got similar-ish pace to Jonathan here, so he's probably going to sit behind him for a couple of laps. See where the guys break in, what he can do to try and improve that. Thomas Ramrat's in to serve that drive-through. And, like you say, falling down the grid and the standings, that bumps everybody else up. So this battle you see on your screens is actually for P2 in the race, as Desert Penguin has extended his lead with Thomas Ramrat's coming in, and it's now 5.6 seconds to the tune of that. Then you've got this battle on screen. It's Jonathan Waxstrom and Chris Muller going nose to tail at it. And then another battle that I'm keeping my eyes on, the battle between P4 and P5, and also the battle between P8 and P9, as you can see on your screen now. Oh, sorry, it's P7 and P8. I take that back in. It's Stijn Hilhorst, and I believe that's Niels van Handen still behind it in the BMW. So it looks like Stein has got past him there.
Yep, indeed, he did. I just saw him switching and was too late to click on it. But Stijn Hilhorst just took the position away from Niels van Handen. Still closely following, as Robin Oosting now is in P5 because Mr. Vrouwenrad, who's now that last year in P13. But Robin Oosting now on the tail of Thijs van der Hoorn with 0.3, 0.2 seconds switching. So he's really putting pressure on Thijs van der Hoorn. And let's see, because the race is still 10 minutes and 22 seconds long. And we know that Robin wants to push and get in front of him. It's always difficult following somebody and making that overtake. If they are slower, they will bring your pace down as well. And you want to get past as soon as possible. And that do we know from Mr. Robin Oosting.
Yeah, Rowan's, like you said there, Mr. Cracker in Twitch chat, he's so good at following his Robin Oosting. He's one of those guys that has the adaptability to follow pretty much anybody very closely. And battle we don't often see is Robin Oosting in ACC first and foremost, but him racing the guy who has done so well in ACC of Thijs van der Hoorn, as he's now pulling alongside, thinking about the move, and not quite on this occasion, just sees and kind of responds and sits back. And I think the two are starting to work together, because that gap now between Thijs and Chris has jumped down from 5 seconds to 3.3. So I think Robin Austin playing the long game here. He's not thinking of obtaining P4 and trying to run away from Tice, but he's thinking of working together and getting involved in that scrap for P2.
You can see that Robin is taking different lines than Thijs van der Hoorn at this point, trying to get a better exit. Sometimes he puts the car beside him, like the start-finish there. He had a really different line to get more exit speed, but it wasn't enough to take the position away. He was really close there. And yeah, look at that, following closely as he can, and you see him going wider and turning that car in more smoother for the exit, just to stick on his tail here. You can see it now again. Different lines from Robin Oosting, but will it bring him enough? As Niels Manshanden. Let me see if 15 seconds is enough. The replay here. Oh, too much curb there and crashing that car in the barrier here. And also Eddie Kaliski was off track here, so that happened to Eddie Kaliski. Also, back on track then for him. Niels Manshanden still standing there, so I don't know what he's doing. Putting the car back to the pit lane. Back to the fight.
Like that was the race for him, but back, like you say, to the fight at hand, and it's Robin Austin. Like I say, those two were working together. You can see now the gap between Chris Miller and Thijs van der Hoorn starting to fall down. So I think Robin Austin's not setting his sights on P4 at this moment in time. He's got 7 minutes left, and I think the two starting to work together to start to reduce that gap to the McLaren of the number 18 up ahead. And yeah, you can see it from Robin's style. He's not making it alert that he wants to be in the mirrors or anything. He just wants to sit comfortably behind and start closing down that gap to P3. So the fight not necessarily on for P4 at this specific moment in time, but the two working together very well.
Yeah, that's a role that Robin can do as well, just following and putting pressure on somebody else that they need to drive faster. For some people they can do it, like Thijs van der Hoorn is experienced enough to have somebody in this mirror. I would be off track like 16 times at this point. So it's really depending on the driver and the style that he has. But yeah, indeed, I think he could make the move there a little bit aggressiver, but he has the chill pill and like, okay, I'm just following. Let me see what we can do. It was 2.5 seconds now. Middle made a mistake, maybe. Oh, yeah, you can see him closing up a little bit. You can see the cars in the background there from the car of Chris Müller. So they are closing in. But will it be enough? 6 minutes, 20 seconds now to go. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we do like to see Chris normally in the Audi, especially the newer Audi. He tends to be more comfortable there and has since made the change to the McLaren and in recent time. And yeah, you can see Thijs exactly. He's the complete opposite. Originally drove the Porsche, then he moved to the McLaren and now trialing out the best car in the grid, in my opinion, which is the Mercedes. And Robin Oosting, well, he picks every car that he wants to. So it's a bit different in terms of that. But has since started to find a love for the BMW in iRacing, and I'm wondering whether he's trying to transfer those skills into ACC. But yeah, that gap's starting to reduce. Chris, I think, slowly, he's found a little bit of pace on that last lap, actually. The gap grown out just by a tenth or two there, and yeah, the gap overall starting to reduce down. But I think Robin probably needs to give it another lap to try and catch this, and if he realizes at that point that the fight for P3 is not on, I think he'll start to put himself in a position where he can start making a move on Thijs.
Yeah, I think if Robin did a move there, he already could close that gap, because you can see that, to be honest, he is a little bit faster than Thijs van der Hoorn. In the chat, what was the last time you driven the rig? To be honest, today the rig is on wheels, so I can drive it around the room. But when I was sitting in the rig, it's, I think, the last time. Jesus. Paul Ricard in Racing to the Weekend, maybe, and that's last year, beginning of the year, something like that. I think 6 months or something. Didn't drive for it. But yeah, after my room is done, I said I want to do a session with Hendrik and do some races and maybe a racing to the weekend as well.
We'll just have to, yeah, do exactly what Cracker says there. You need to activate your iRacing for the 24 hours of Spa. So,
For the 24 hours of Spa.
we'll
60-man team. Yeah, I said that I want to do like a 60-man team. Normally it's like people want to do like a lone race of 24 hours or a 2-people race for 24 hours. I said I want to do a 16 team. Yeah, that is amazing. Driving with 16 people of the community of the race team then, yeah, would be amazing. And yeah, I want to take part at that. Spa it's soon, right? It's like in 2 months.
It's the end of July, so yeah, it's just under 2 months' time is the 24 hours. Myself and Robin Osteen, we've decided that we'll team up again, and yeah, we're in talks of starting to form a team to try and get the back-to-back, because obviously we won it last year. So yeah, we'll see what we can do there.
Yeah, I think you should team up with the same. Maybe that Stick wants to drive. Who knows? And yeah, if you have the same team, why not? You can win it.
Yeah, we got exceptionally lucky, but yeah, we're quite fortunate to be in the position that we were in. So yeah, who knows? Cracker's always invited. I've seen the Twitch chat kicking off. Oh, Morton, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Robin Olsen fell a little bit back here. He's now in 1.5 seconds away, so I think he made a little bit of a mistake there. But yeah, the thing is, or Thijs van der Hoorn is faster because now it's 1.1 second away from Chris Muller on P3. Stijn Hilhorst is closest to a battle here with Nino Burek. And yeah, I just thought I changed the theme again to this race, except of your plaque mission to win again.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we wanna try and do that again, and likewise at Le Mans tomorrow, we wanna make sure that we have a good race there. So let's focus on the race at hand in front of us with 1 minute 51 left. In the race, and it's Stijn Hilhorst on your screen, putting pressure on Nino Burek, and a lot closer on this lap, isn't he? Starting to, like we said, reduce that gap, but the McLaren's starting to find a little bit more pace than that Audi at the moment. Nino Burek, he's a guy that's in a different car than what he normally is. He's been driving the BMW for a long period of time, and I think since has made the change, and Eddie Kaliski, unfortunately, I think he's found himself backwards at Spoon there, from what I gathered. And Thijs van der Hoorn, like I say, they were supposed to be working together with Thijs and Robin, and Robin, as we said, fell back a little bit. But this is what could have been, as we can see Thijs van der Hoorn now with roughly about 2 laps left, and now starting to put in the pressure on P3 and go for a podium position.
I think it's the last lap because Penguin just got the notification the leader is on the last lap. He's at 55 seconds in the lap with the time to go. So he will be out of time before he crosses that finish line, when I'm correct. That means that that's a Penguin with 13 seconds already. If he makes no mistake, of course, and normally he doesn't, will win this race easily. Jesus, my English again. English. Robin Osteen coming closer now, because Thijs van der Hoorn is now 1.1 second away. So I think Thijs had a little moment there. As Robin Osteen, yeah, Thijs had a rat time there, so he went off track a little bit. But closing in again.
Yeah.
Look at that shot.
I'm not going to rule out Robin Osteen down this back straight. I know that the BMW's got a little bit of straight in speed, and I know that Robin Osteen has been rather quiet in this race. As we can see, Desert Penguin out of the last chicane, and there you are, going to be taking race 1 as the victory, and very easy win for Mr. Desert Penguin. But going back to the battle at hand, as Jonathan Wackstrom in P2, but this battle here is P3, P4, and P5, and I think they've been well behaved, haven't they? Ty's taking the inside line and starting to pull alongside, but unfortunately not enough on this occasion. So Jonathan Watch from P2, Chris Muller in P3, ahead of Thijs van der Hoorn, who was only 0.02 seconds off Mr. Chris Muller in the end there. Robin Austin picks up P5 ahead of Nino Burek, who just stays ahead of Dine Hillhorse there. And Thomas Bramratz, with that drive-through, recovers well and finishes P8, should have said, ahead of Bob Landy in P9. Mr. Perritt, P10, and Zvonimir Burek, with that earlier spin and a little bit of damage, finds himself in P11. Eddie Kaliski had a couple of spins, probably not the race one that he would have wanted. I think he's going to go back to the drawing board and see if we can get that Aston Martin going a little bit faster for race 2. Sadly, finds himself at the back of it.
That concludes race number 1 then. Still 2 races to go. Race into the weekend number 70. I can't believe it that in about 30 races we have 100. We have to do something big, Cracker. Cracker in chat here is the organization of Racing to the Weekend, and it seems to be like a great success. The only thing is the last 2 weeks, the first lap incident. But it's definitely something. Let's go to a short intro. Give ourselves a little bit of a break to be back in race number 2. Okay?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay. See you guys in a bit.
The battle's coming now. The fury shakes the ground. I've come to take my crown. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready or not, the clock is counting. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Oh, a legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try and take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. You know I'm out for blood. I'm feeling dangerous. I just can't get enough. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready or not, the clock is counting. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Whoa, legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try to take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. I am the champion. I know where I'm going. I have been chosen. I'll never be broken. I am the champion. A clashing of titans, a battle of giants. Take a moment of silence. champion. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Whoa, legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, got one try to take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. I am the champion.
And we are back here. Still 1 minute and 16 seconds in free practice. And then we have race number 2 here. Or qualification number 2, I have to say, of race number 2. Don't say that. I'm human. Yeah, sorry, Cracker. I like to point out people's mistakes and hide my own behind them. He does a good job. Yeah, he does indeed. And I meant it was intentional. I want to say international sandbagging, but intentional sandbagging. Yeah, it is. He did that on purpose, I think. So yeah, race 1 was great to see. Without a shouting who won here in the stream, it's a little bit better for my ears, to be honest. But yeah, he played the Flamingo, guys. So I think today the bingo will go out if somebody noticed it. But still, they have to write in the Discord, bingo.
Well, whilst we wait for that to happen and to kick off, yeah, I'd like to pass comment on race 1. I think it was rather interesting up and down the board. We had that midfield battle, didn't we, between P5 and P10 at one point, and all battles in between, and it was Desert Penguin who ended up walking away with it pretty niftily, should we say. And already I'm starting to see a few changes of cars in the grid starting to form. Desert Penguin not in that infamous McLaren at this point. He has decided he's going to embrace the BMW, and has since decided that that's what he's going to be driving. And the guy that's also back for another week of racing, but this time in a Lamborghini Super Trofeo, is Mr. Mark Toll.
This is one of the guys I really want to apply for the Road to Legends. I'm a fan of him, to be honest. I need to have a talk with him soon. He's freaking fast, to be honest. He's so fast. And in the Super Trofeo, that's a choice. We saw him in that Porsche 992. Slippery as hell, but he managed to get that car under control. So yeah, let's see what he can do in that Super Trofeo as well. Free practice is over. Now we're going to qualification. Let me see. Zvonimir Burek, BMW, Nielsmans, Honda, Aston, Steinhill, Horse. Who did change? Because Waxham's still in the Bentley. Tay is still in the. Was Desert Penguin was in a McLaren?
He was originally, yes.
No, he's still there. Yeah, he had that. And that's one of the guys who refuses to drive delivery because he thinks it's ugly. It's a man apart. Let's see. Eddie Kaliski out for a lap here and trying to warm up the tires with some speed here. What's the best way to do that? You are more experienced as a racer than I am because I didn't drive for like 6 months. Do you do a slow out lap warming up the tires, or do you just go full out and make the best of it?
It depends really what you want out of the tire. So if you want a qualifying lap, then yeah, typically I would start by just absolutely going for it. The only way you're going to be able to put consistent temperature through the tire and into a pressure is more of a slower out lap. So the way that you sort of set up for a qualifying lap to the way that you set up for a race lap and sort of the beginning of a race are two very different circumstances. The way that I would set up for a qualifying is I would try and get as much temperature into the tyre as possible. So that's why we see a few drivers weaving, some rather aggressive brakes, aggressive on the turning, just to try and generate that temperature a little bit quicker. And then as the race starts, you'll see a rather timid start, but what the drivers are doing are typically accelerating and holding the brake simultaneously, and that's what we call brake dragging. And all that does is overheat your brakes, and through that your brake temperature will rise, and obviously it will rise into the tire and create a more even temperature onto the stuff, and that's how we build the pressure in the tires. So two very different techniques, and it depends really on. For me, that's the way that I'd set it up. It often depends on the driver as to which one they want to apply in their driving style and which way they want to prepare and set up their car for the laps.
That's the thing that I always did is like applying a little bit of pressure on the brake and then just drive away. That they get overheated because more heat from the braking pads or the how do you say it? Jesus.
I'd say the brake discs.
Discs, yeah. I was looking for the word disc. Jesus Christ. More heat in the brake disc means more heating up the tires, even more than weaving. Because weaving, I noticed that it doesn't do a lot for me, to be honest. Yeah, you can see somebody weaving in the background there. But yeah, for me, it was like always trying to overheat that brake disc a little bit to get more heat in the tire. But that was in the first lap of the race, the warm-up lap. And qualification, I just drive away and try to find a little bit of a limit and not too harsh, because we saw in the previous laps that two cars went off a little bit. More heat, more good. Sometimes, but when they are in flames, it's not good.
Yeah, if we got too much heat, they tend to be not that great either, as we've started to find out numerous times. But yeah, like you say, the way that these drivers will prepare for those laps is very different to the other drivers, and it very much depends on your driving style. I tend to get a lot of temperature through weaving myself, and that's because I adapt a sort of similar technique that was famously shown by Fernando Alonso, where you would overturn the car and generate a lot of understeer, and that tyre scrubbing would generate front end grip. And I've used that numerous times in the start of my races and adapted that into my racing style. But the likes of Mr. Robin Austin, who is my teammate and has been for a good, year and a bit now, should we say, he does it completely different, and he would never dream of doing such a thing. So it's probably different to see different contrasting styles in these drivers.
Indeed. I just seen that the track was from fast to optimum now. Still cloudy, 90 degrees air temperature. Track is 24 degrees, so it's still a little bit cold. That's a reason that the tire warm-up will last a little bit longer, I guess. Waxrum in P2, Chris Mueller sets the fastest time. Nino Burek then in P3. Nielsmans Handen now takes that P4 position. Dazzle Penguin now coming over that line, over the straight here. It's the second line. You see it's now that he sets the time. Now. And sets the second time here. So he's still trying to find some rhythm. He took that pole position in the first race. We have somebody new here. Cass Corby, E-Team Brit in the Bentley. He's a rookie still, but still... yeah, nice to see new guys, new blood in the race into the weekends. And what they don't know is that it is a league race. They can score points even if they are not in the Discord, not in don't know what DSRT is. That's fun to see.
It is, and it's always nice to see how these people fare up. And one guy we'll be keeping an eye on for sure as qualifying and the race starts to get underway. A person that's currently P4 and looking to improve is Nino Burek in that Audi, and it's probably the first time I'm going to mention actually that Nino and Zvonimir are driving different cars. The two of them tend to do pretty much everything in the sim world together, and they'll race the same car and race into the weekend, and they'll share setups and share knowledge on whatnot. But it looks like Nino going to be sticking with this Audi, and Zvonimir changing back to his more preferred BMW, should I say.
Yeah, absolutely. Nino is doing an amazing job at 2 minute 2.7 at this point. Improved 7 tenths on his lap. Still 8 tenths behind, but great improvement. Corby is a little bit new and still looking for the racing line here a little bit. Yeah, that could. Yeah, you can already see Mr. Landy had an improvement, but yeah, now he lost like 2 seconds. That's no problem. We love to have new people, like I said. So always great, always great. Oh, I was too late. Oh, I'm not too late. Niels van Handen. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sometimes it goes so fast.
it's unreal. Times are starting to fall through and starting to come in at this point. A few drivers probably gone wide at track limits and are now starting to set valid lap times. Vladimir Burek finds himself in P4 and just parked his car out the way. Probably going to have parked it for the end of qualifying by the looks of that. Thomas Ramratz, he had a very difficult race one without drive-through penalty due to track limits and going to be looking to improve in this second qualifying. We know he's capable of putting that car into the top 5 and let's see what this time is capable of. There you are. 201.19 goes to the top there and just ahead of Thijs van der Hoorn, who's had an absolute storm of a lap. Desert Penguin, 7 tenths off the pace, obviously in the car that he doesn't prefer, but he's going to be wanting to try and improve and get back up to where we saw him in race 1. Nino Burek is a guy that's slowly starting to punch in the lap times ever so slightly faster and faster, and let's see if he's got an improvement on this lap. The 21 Audi driver starting to get confident and more comfortable as the weeks do progress in racing to the weekend and does go faster. It's a 2:02.4 there and stays P7 but reduces that gap. He only needs a 10th to start to find himself off the back of Jonathan Weissstrom, who's setting his lap now and but doesn't improve on that lap. He was 1.7 seconds slower. So yeah, Nino Burek starting to balance that pressure. He's only 2 tenths off his brother, which is something we don't often see. To say the least. Thijs van der Hoorn into the last chicane and look at that car. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Mercedes myself. I've driven it for a long time and Thijs starting to realise why this car is so viable and so good. Takes the shorter run to the line and one of the few drivers that has done there and doesn't improve on that occasion. Desert Penguin, can he improve? His best lap 201.9 and let's see where he can go. Does improve, it's a small improvement, up to a 201.645 and finds himself slotting up an extra position into P3 and still almost half a second off the pace there, but Chris Muller is going to be the guy that could potentially disrupt this Guru.
Yeah, I think so as well. But at this point, he's not improving on his lap time. It's really close on his last lap time, and it was a 2 minute 1.832. He needs to find 2 tenths of a second to get Desert Penguin's position here. And at this point, he's really at 0.000. So he's really exactly driving the same that he did. And that was a little bit of a mistake. Commentator's curse here because that was an invalidated lap. I can tell you that Mr. Wexstrom here is driving now and improving 1.5 tenths. It could be that he's improving and gets Vladimir Burek's position away if he continues like this. So that's a good run from him. Chris Muller is off track. We have Penguin and Vrouwenraads, who's both improving a little bit. But let's see what Jonathan Wexstrom can do. Oh, that was a bad chicane there for him. Bad corners. The Casio, I think it was. Not improving. Lost a lot of time there. And it's over. I think, time is over. So, Mark Toll didn't even put in the time, so he will do the last first again. And that's it. Thomas Vrouwenraads take that pole position. Then Thijs van der Hoorn, Desert Penguin in P3, Chris Muller in P4, Stijn Hilhorst P5, Zvonimir Burek in P6, Jonathan Wexstrom in P7, Nino Burek P8, Niels Manshanden in P9, Mr. Pereira in P10, I think it's Mioch in P11, but on the stream you see Landy. Eddie Kaliski in P12 and Mark Toll in P13.
And we've got a very interesting race 2 ahead of us. We'd like to say that we've got probably about 2 or 3 drivers that are out of position in terms of their qualifying, not had the strongest qualifying outset, and looking to move forward. I expect Desert Penguin to be making moves on lap 1, and Thijs van der Hoorn to be doing what he did very well to Robin Austin and just keeping the car behind as well. So this is a battle that could heat up. I'm very much looking forward to that one. I'm also looking forward to the battle in the midfield between Steinhillhorst, Swanimir Burek, and Jonathan Watstrom. Jonathan Watstrom, guy that finished P2 last race, he's now found himself in P7 with a rather weak qualifying, and expect him to start to move through the pack as these guys, should I say, start to make a move and underway as they start pacing towards the line and starting to generate that heat that we were mentioning earlier, Guru, about generating as much tire temp as possible.
Yeah, I noticed that I think in this race as well, the contact in the first lap will be off. So if you see cars flying into each other but nothing happens, that's Cracker's fault. Had to say it. But yeah, after lap 1, the contact will be on, and hopefully everybody will notice that as well. So we are going to that start-finish line, and yeah, let's do my routine with the Bugatti, because Thijs van der Hoorn and Vrouwenraad on row 1, and you see somebody, oh, he's coming back, I think? What the hell is he doing? That was strange. That was strange. But boogity, we are away. Did I miss something? Oh, it said no. It said I think it was Thomas Vrouwenraad.
Now he's found himself in P2. Someone has jumped the start and not been penalised for it at this moment in time.
That was so strange. I saw somebody just weaving through the field and nothing happened. But it's.
That is the number 16 of Eric Biok.
Marek Hoym is now his name. Marek Hoym. The standings are really, really strange. Oh no, so it was he who's just jumped the star there and didn't get a penalty for it. That's strange.
Well, credits to this guy for knowing the rules, apparently, because Eric Biok going to be showing it why he's been named the Minister of Defence and started to defend very vastly against Thomas Vrouwenraad, who understandably must be fuming at that race start and not being able to pull away. Going back down the grid, and everything's kicked off down here, isn't it? That's Swanimir Burek found himself in a wall again, sadly, and Mark Toll going to be starting to make up a few places there, and down the inside, as we've seen. Thank you very much to Mr. Seb, subscribing again for another month to our Twitch channel.
Thank you.
That's 15 months in a row for you, Seb, so thank you very much for the subscription there. Yeah, going back to the battle at hand, and it's Desert Penguin who's slotted himself into what is effectively net P2, isn't it, if we expect... Oh, big mistake from Mr. Desert Penguin. That's something we don't see every day, and he's lost quite a few places. He's fallen back behind Jonathan Watstrom there and finds himself now in P6. So the battle's all starting to form as they cross the line. It's Eric Miot from Thomas Vrouwenraad, Thijs van der Hoorn in P3 ahead of Steinhillhorst. Jonathan Watstrom in P5 ahead of the guy that just made that mistake, Desert Penguin. Mark Toll, what a start for him in the Super Trofeo. He's now up to P7 ahead of Chris Muller. And the guy that's pulling on the pressure behind Chris Muller, it looks like he's actually got past him. It is Nino Burek in P8 now. Yeah, he's just jumped Chris Muller there, yeah. As we can see, it's just not quite fully updated there as everybody else starting to fall through. And it's Eric Miok. I know we've only had one lap, but I'm going to say it. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far and starting to run away from it. Thijs van der Hoorn with a couple of mistakes there, and sadly has to fall back behind Desert Penguin. Something we've seen, unfortunately, a little bit too much in recent time of Thijs van der Hoorn being behind Desert Penguin. Let's see if he can start to pile on the pressure and make the move. But the rear of that Mercedes not looking as planted as it did in race 1, Guru.
No, but yeah, I was a little bit off guard here by Mr. Landy, who is who's just jumped the start. Vrouwenraad's now back in P2. Thijs van Hoorn, indeed, that mistake. Desert Penguin, rarely seen mistake there. Mark Toll from last to 7th, so he is almost halfway through the field. The battles are still close. Wexstrom now in the attack here with the Bentley, really close on Stein Hillhorse and P3. What will he make a move somewhere over that? Look at all those cars following each other after lap 1. That's great to see. Coming through the Casio turns here. He's still far away. I thought he would. Oh, that's a different line. Can he make the overspeed work? A little bit of a correction. There's 2 people. Oh, it was Mr. Landy who's just lost a car. And look at that pack of cars there. They are trying to go 4 wide maybe here. 2 wide indeed, 3 wide. But it's Stein Hillhorse who takes the lead. Wexstrom to P2. Then Desert Penguin makes up his mistake. Really great here in P3 with the fastest lap. Thomas Frauenrath's back to P4 and Thijs van der Hoorn follow him closely. And with the mistake of Mr. Landy, means that Mark Toll just took that P6.
Yeah, been very interesting, especially into turn 1 though. We just saw the mistake coming out of the chicane from Mr. Miyok, and oof, that's Desert Penguin and Thomas Frauenrath. Looks like they've spun and gone round, and yeah, I'm not sure what's just happened there. Recovering Mr. Frauenrath and replay of Eddie Kaliski, and yeah, Thomas Frauenrath's just underestimating just how little speed sometimes the BMW does need to get around the corner, and that Porsche, who's very good in the first sector, I think he just took a little bit too much there. And Desert Penguin now finds himself with some work to do, doesn't he? P12 for that guy, and Thomas Frauenrath's down into P8. So the standings all jumping up and down and around, but one thing that has remained certain is Jonathan Watch from P7 finds himself in P2, and Stein Hillhorse is now leading this week's Racing to the Weekend Race 2, and you can see Jonathan Markstrom. I think he's sensing an opportunity here, starting to pile on the pressure, and knows that he's got a little bit more pace than Stein, but one thing we do want to see is the patience from Jonathan, and see if we can build that gap, because they have got the Mercedes of Thijs van der Hoorn starting to breathe down their neck as well. Mark Toll up to P4. What happened there, mate?
I didn't even notice that, to be honest. I thought now that was the spin of Desert Penguin and Frauenrath. Frauenrath's the lucky one here because P7, but Desert Penguin with the fastest lap now in P12. Battle is heating up in the front here as well, as Mr. Wexstrom now tries to make a move here on Stein Hillhorse, and he sets a car beside him, but still not enough power to get past him. So needs another lap. Then it is Mr. Landy here taking the position away from Nino Burek, as Chris Muller. Yeah, I was clicking and he was jumping away, but Chris Muller just spun the car around there, and yeah, he's now back into the pit lane. Niels Mans Handen then won some positions now because of Chris Muller. He's behind Eddie Kaliski at 0.456 of a second, really close to each other. Oh, Jesus. So much battling going on here. Even after 7 minutes, it's just too much. They only have a race, and after 2 laps, they are separated. But so many things going on. Penguin now in the battle. Mixing is up. Almost 3 wide here, 2 wide. Oh, somebody's going off there. It was
a move.
It was Masana. Yeah, that was amazing. See another replay.
Oh,
come on, camera.
That, but Mr. Desert Penguin ran it round the outside of the end of the S's and stuck his car along the inside, and unfortunately Niels van Handen, I think, just got caught out by the fact that he found a BMW on the inside there and realised that 2 into 1 didn't really go, and Desert Penguin already on the back of Eddie Kaliski and going into Spoon. Sticks it on the inside, and job done for Mr. Penguin. He's now got his eyes firmly focused on Zvonimir Burek up ahead in that BMW, and won't be a couple of laps, I think, before he'll start to get onto the back of that. But Jonathan Watchram still piling on the pressure for the overall race lead, and like I said, Mr. Thijs van der Hoorn has closed 1.8 seconds on that last lap and starting to reduce the gap further, and not quite within touching distance just yet, but give it another lap, and I think this is what Jonathan Markstrom is sensing. He's going to realise that he's going to have to start thinking about making the move on Mr. Stein Hillhorse. Has got the pace in that Bentley, and We can see Thijs van der Hoorn sets the fastest lap of the race on that last time out. So don't rule him out for an overall race victory. It's all kicking off, Guru, in this race, isn't it?
Absolutely correct here, and Wexham really has difficulties to attack Stijn Hilhorst here. It's a narrow track, to be honest. A lot of curves, bends, and yeah, you need to find a position to put the car safely beside the other one, and it's not really a thing when we have a wiper check here. Luckily, we have no rain because it would be even worse. But thank you for the wiper check there at the poles. Yeah, it is still close to each other. You see Wexham really battling here for P1 with Stijn Hilhorst. Thijs van der Hoorn really closely, and as you said, set the fastest lap here. So maybe on an attack as well if he can close that gap a little bit. Mr. Landy Burek, Jesus Christ, what's happening here? It's Mark Toll who takes that P4 position. Nino Burek then behind him. Landy just lost position against Nino. And Thomas Vrouwenraad's in the background here on 0.3 of a second as well. So he's closing that gap. A lot of fighting going on track here. I see only like point something seconds. As Mr. Landy, oh, what happened here? Let's see a replay.
Looked like to me that it was just a case of 2 into 1 didn't go. So Eric, or Landy as he's known as today, just, yeah, unfortunately comes down, and Thomas Raumratz just starts to stick the nose down. So it was just a little bit of unsightedness from both drivers, and yeah, both stopped on the side of the track now. So going back to the main battle, and it's Thijs van der Hoorn well out of that slipstream, isn't he? He's not wanting to get involved, and now starts to dive back down as Jonathan Markstrom sticks his nose up, and I think Thijs van der Hoorn's starting to sense an opportunity here as Stijn Hilhorst defends very well round the outside into turn 1 there, and maintains momentum to stay ahead of the Bentley for this time. And top 3 now separated by about 0.3 of a second. You can see them there. It's Stijn Hilhorst from Jonathan Markstrom and Thijs van der Hoorn in P3 with that fastest lap. The gap forming to P4, which is this battle between Mark Toll and Nino Burek. Just to point out, Mark Toll is in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo. He's going to be slower in the corners, but better in a straight line. So Mark's starting to maximise his exits and try and defend from Nino Burek, and always one to a challenge. We've seen him in the Porsche Cup in recent time, but one that he seems to maximise the potential of it is this Lamborghini Super Trofeo. I've seen him a couple of times in this car, and Nino Burek thinking about starting to show the nose now and starting to pile on the pressure, but it's not them that I'm massively involved with. It's the battle up front between Stijn, Jonathan and Thijs that is all starting to heat up, Guru. Just gonna go back in and say that this battle, like I say, starting to heat up, and it's Stijn starting to run away now. Now, if you're in Jonathan's position, you don't really want to do anything too rash, because if you make a bad mistake or you put yourself on the inside of a corner that you can't realistically pass on, that's only going to allow Thijs to
we go now
close
to
up
turn
and
1 in just a
potentially
few
pass
moments.
it
So you
as
see he's
well.
going to go for the outside line. Both of them go side by side. To turn 1 we go right now. So he's still defending the inside line. Ruben still trying to look for a little bit of a switcheroo. It's not going to work out. My God, that's sliding. And he's going to save it. That is a very good save from Ruben. We go into turn 3 at the moment. We just went through the under the hairpin. That is a little sliding from Ruben. So we go down to turn 4. Both of them with a very good exit, but look at who gets the better one. That is Ruben Osting, who is still behind. Solis feeling the pressure. Turn 5, the uphill left-hander, and both of them still go hard.
Oh my God, what an absolute businessman is! That was beautiful! Oh, rats!
Try and fit a word in edgeways here over Mr. Juan, who has interrupted our stream. But yeah, Jonathan Markstrom now finds himself ahead of Mr. Steinhillhorst, a battle that I must have missed amongst all the chaos that's happening on stream, and Thijs van der Horn now going to have to try and get past before Jonathan Ratstrom runs away with this one, Guru. So then, 6 minutes left of the race, and Jonathan Whitestrom starting to pull away, as we can see. The battle forming behind there, and many things kicking off in the background. Not sure who's just got past. I think that's
Can you now hear me?
We've got you now, Guru. Yes, we are.
Okay, my mic just died out of nowhere because I was talking. You were talking over me, and I was like, huh? What the hell?
Yeah, we got nothing then. I kept on throwing it to you, and I was like, "Are you here?"
My mic is on and everything, but this of Streamlabs just turned off my mic. I don't know what happened.
Well, it's
Thank you
good
very
to have
much,
you back at least.
Peter Drapier, for following on Facebook. Yeah, sorry, my voice quality will be down now because I just plugged in my headset and not the official mic. I'm really sorry for that because I was like, why is he talking over me, you know? And I was like, okay. And after 2 times, I was like, something isn't right. So yeah, my mic just died. I don't know why. I have to check that out, but I will put it away and we'll do it for the rest of the stream on my headset then. I hope the quality is still good, so let me know if you can hear me, my crispy voice.
We can't. Whatever you did just made you sound very quiet, the Guru. So
Okay, yeah, that's the reason. What the hell just happened?
yeah, if you move back to your microphone, I think your microphone fixed itself. I'm not entirely sure. Let's focus on the race at hand, shall we? Whilst we're going through the issues at hand and the technical dilemmas of which we are facing. But it's Mr. Jonathan Ratstrom. Like I say, he's run away with it, but Thijs van der Horn found himself back past at this specific corner 130R on the last one. And we have Mr. Guru back with all clarity and everything back to normal.
Should be okay now. Sorry for that. I don't know what happened, and I hope it will sync now. So yeah, I was doing a lot of interesting stories and everything, and yeah, suddenly I noticed that I wasn't welcome anymore because Mr. Impulse just was talking over me. Sorry for that, mate. That I didn't notice that sooner. I was talking about beautiful overtake there that Wexstrom did on Thijs van der Horn on the outside and sticks the landing there. Very good, very good. Wexstrom then in P1, Thijs van der Horn in P2, Steinhillhorst P3, Desert Penguin 10 seconds behind on P4. And I see that I missed a lot of things in the meantime because where's Mark Toll? He's gone.
Yeah, he's out as well. Yeah, amongst all these technical difficulties, I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't know myself that he's gone. And yeah, it's unfortunate to see him out of this race, but what a recovery drive from Mr. Desert Penguin. He's found himself back up into P4, stone dead last after that contact with Thomas Raumrats on sort of within the first 5 minutes of the race, and yeah, now finds himself in P4 and slowly starting to close down the gap. It might be a little bit too much with 2.5 minutes left, but if anybody can do it, it's going to have to be a certain Mr. Desert Penguin to try and reduce the gap. Mark Toll in the chat. Hello, sir. How are you doing today? Got punted twice, so there was no point driving on, to be honest. Unfortunately, that's not what we believe in at DSRT. We're a firm believer in never giving up. And there's always lessons to be learnt, but yeah, sometimes if you've got too much damage, it's wise not to drive on that one.
Yeah, but going back to the pit, trying to repair and doing your laps, it means it's a league race, you know. There are points to giving away, and even 1 point can make a difference of one position. I had the hard learning of that as well. because I never gave up, and I got a third position in a championship on 1 point difference. So and that was because I just continued driving, got 1 point, and that makes a difference. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, but never giving up is always a reason to go. Now the gaps are a little bit more different than we had like a few minutes ago. As one of my Burek closest to his brother Nino Burek, so that could be a brotherly battle here. And that's the only real battle on track, as we still have 1 minute 12 seconds to go, so one more lap, I guess. Wexstrom is leading that and already took a gap of 3.1 seconds.
Sorry, I don't want to go over the top of you there.
No problem.
A massive slide from Mr. Nino Burek, and how he saved that is absolutely fantastic. It was great car control from the Audi driver, and two Bureks back to back. And it's Zvonimir that's had the success in the past, and Nino that is sort of under Zvonimir's tuition, isn't he? And constantly learning, but Zvonimir, I think, going to be giving Nino a hard time in this last lap or two.
There goes the Juan 5 cents again.
Where we go right now, Sony still defending the inside line. Rubino still trying to look for a little bit of a switcheroo. It's not going to work out. My God, the sliding, and he's going to.
I need to shorten that.
Very good save from Rubino. We go into turn 3 at the moment. We just went through the anti hairpin. That is a little sliding from Rubino. So we go down to turn 4. Both of them with a very good exit, but look at who gets the better one. That is Rubino Sting, who is still behind. Solis feeling the pressure. Turn 5, the uphill left-hander, and both of them still go hard.
And both of them still go hard. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And if you are watching on YouTube or on Facebook, make sure you join the Twitch and join the chat here, because normally on YouTube and Facebook I don't read the chat that much. It's all on Twitch. Maybe I have to make a notice of that in the stream as well. So one of Burek still 0.6 seconds away then, as Wexstrom coming here and gets the checkered flag and wins the race, number 2 here of Racing to the Weekend, number 70. Thijs van der Hoorn then second position, and then we have Stijn Hilhorst. Am I gone again?
No, you're good. You're with us.
Okay.
Sorry, I was just talking over the top. I was just about to say, I think Mr. Thijs van der Hoorn will be happy with that, as he looks to extend the gap in the championship over Desert Penguin, who finishes in P4. Great recovery drive from the guy himself, and he was closing on Mr. Stijn Hilhorst towards the end there. Nino Burek, has he finished ahead of Zvonimir? I think he has now, as everything started to cross the line, and Niels van Handen finds himself in inside the top 10. I've not seen him as high up as 6th before. I think that'll be a rather achieving sort of vibe from him. And then obviously Thomas Ramratz. P7 ahead of Eddie Kaliski, who doesn't finish last time. A small improvement. Mr. Pereira rounds out your top 10.
Absolutely beautiful and exciting in this first, 12 minutes or something. Exciting racing to see. Really close battles. So yeah, that's good. That's good. The only problem, was my mic. Sorry for that again. And let's hope for race 3, my mic will, work properly. Let's go to another intro. I just noticed that I wanted to do the Never Give Up intro, and it's changed. So I don't have that. I just have the championship intro. But yeah, we will go to the championship intro again. And afterwards, now it's a good time to get a holy energy. We will do that sponsor video also when we switch. So stay tuned, because we have still one race to go. We have race number 3 then. And see you in like 3-4 minutes.
The battle's coming now. The fury shakes the ground. I've come to take my crown. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready or not, the clock is counting. Oh, for greatness. Oh, a legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try and take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. You know I'm out for blood. I'm feeling dangerous. I just can't get enough. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready and not the clock is counting down. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Whoa, legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try to take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. I am the champion. I know where I'm going. I have been chosen. I'll never be broken. I am the champion. A clashing of titans, a battle of giants. Take a moment of silence. I am the champion. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Whoa, legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try to take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. I am the champion.
Oh my God, what an absolute beast this man is! That was beautiful! Oh, rats! The ball in the middle, make one move! That was insane! And again, switching position.
Sorry. Wrong buttons every time. Pro streamer here, and welcome back to Racing to the Weekend. We are preparing for race number 3 as the qualification is just going to start. Yeah, and you can see at my twitchy fingers, I miss Juan a little bit as well. Just that silly voice and everything. But I have a great co-commentator here with me today, and you miss him. Not really, to be honest. I'd rather have Impulse here with me because it's better for my ears. Like when it's like, my goodness! But yeah, I love the guy. Race number 3, qualification number 3 is going. 11 people then. Let's switch to drive.
And the interesting fact is at hand, where everybody has has embraced within race 3. We have a thing for race 3 and racing to the weekend, which is drive a random class of car that doesn't often get that much love. So usually it's the Porsche Cup or the new BMW M2 CS Cup or you know, sort of a Super Trofeo thing, maybe GT4s. Today, it's the Ferrari GT Challenge, and this round, this track, I think is going to be the most challenging thing for some of these drivers. So it should be interesting for these four that are currently selected the race at hand for those boys.
Yes, Russell just collected the Juan 5 cents as well. I think it's the most the most chosen one. Yeah. The uphill left-hander. Robin, you interrupted me, indeed. He was talking about the Ferrari challenge here. Yeah, we have 4 cars of the Ferrari here. Too bad it isn't more. Let me have a quick look here. You can see what the problem is, I think, because in the social room, only 3 drivers are in there. Normally, a lot of people are in that chat, but today it's quite relaxing. Just 3 people.
At the end of this straight,
Yeah.
go now into turn 1 in just a few moments, and you see
Run
something
for-
on the outside line,
I hate you all.
side by
I hate
side.
you all.
To turn 1 we go right now.
Oh,
Tony's still
Jesus.
within the inside line. Ruben's trying to look for a little bit of a switcheroo. It's not gonna work out.
I have to
He's
make it
gonna
more
slide
expensive.
and he's gonna save it. That is a very good save from Ruben. So we go into turn 3 at the moment. We just went through the under the hairpin. That is a little sliding from Ruben. So we go down to turn 4. Both of them with a very good exit, but look at who gets the better one. That is Ruben Osting, who is still behind. Solis feeling the pleasure. Turn 5, the uphill left-hander, and both of them still go hard.
And the thing is that, yeah, he was commentating that in real life. Yeah, 100 bits and that that plays. I remove it, and if somebody does 100 bits with I want to hear Juan, I will play it for free against the 100 bits. Then no, now I sound like somebody I don't really like, because he's always asking for money on streams, and I don't do that. The thing is that I like the confetti, for example, and I think it's 500 cheaper, 500 crowns cheaper than Juan, but still they are choosing Juan. Lovely. So yeah, people enjoying that.
He's gonna go for the outside line. Both of them go side by side.
That was 3 times in a row I was about to speak and wasn't played it.
Trying to look for a little bit of a switcheroo. It's not gonna work out. My God, the sliding, and he's gonna save it. That is a very good save from Ruben. So we go into turn 3 at the moment.
There goes the stream down the drain.
That is a little sliding from Ruben. So we go down to turn 4. Both of them with a very good exit, but look at who gets the better one. That is Ruben Osting, who is still behind. Solis feeling the pleasure. Turn 5.
The uphill left-hander, and they still go hard. Yeah, so thank you very much for playing that 3 times in a row.
He's going to run out eventually, so whether it just continues all night, he's going to run out before long. So
Tell me in chat, how many crowns do you have, people? Because I think that you have like 10,000 or something. You can do more with that. And I'm still thinking about, oh Jesus, Tom Carroll, 19,372. So, oh, Russo, 25k. Got around 16k. Okay, that's a lot. So yeah, thank you very much, because that means 39.9k. Do some confetti then.
I think my dad needs to to be shown how.
Yeah, but people that
yet.
do that more Juans. No, we cannot talk between Rap and Juan. The thing is that yeah, people that enjoy it and watch a lot of streams here get those crowns. 1k at the moment. Yeah, you have to watch more. Oh, there he goes again with confetti. Should we do like a whole race only Juan rapping with confetti? Oh, there's another confetti.
Both of them with a very good exit, but
Oh, wiper check. Everything is coming now. Hey.
Uphill left-hander, and both of them still go.
Oh, you must have of the qualification. Yeah. Never back down. Oh, that's double. That's double. Wait for it. Oh, Jesus. This stream is going to crash. No, 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 no. Oh, Jesus Christ. And Thomas laughing in the background. He likes this.
Oh, we broke it, chat. We did it.
We broke the chat? We broke it.
Can we call a momentary truce, please? Because we have to... Oh, I've lost it. Let's recover. Let's recover.
At the end of the
Nope. There it comes again.
He's gonna go for the outside line. Both of them go side by
Yeah,
side.
for new people, sorry. That's Crowns. And that's Juan, one of our commentators who can rap on commentating. Just put a little bit of rap music between and bam. I think everybody will have nightmares of this song.
Yeah, it won't be before long. Let's try and commentate over the top of this, and we've got 3.5.
Oh, Jesus, that's 2 times Juan now.
That's enough for Morton. Right, he's tapped out. We're okay. He'll come back with about 7 more, probably Morton. However, 3 minutes left of qualifying. Let's focus on the race at hand. And we've got Thomas Brownrats with a 2-minute .5 setting lap times. A light ahead of Desert Penguin, who's still finding himself about half a second off the pace in that BMW. Not as quick as he is in the McLaren. And Thijs van der Hoorn, he's not too far off the time of Mr. Penguin. Chris Miller, only other person to set a valid lap time, and he finds himself at 2:01.6.
Thomas Frauenrad, yeah, P1 now, 2-minute .5. That's a quick time. Desert Penguin just improved his time to a 2-minute .7, high, almost 8. Thijs van der Hoorn indeed now P3 here off track. Let me see. Zvonimir Burek now trying a lap, sets himself to a P4 position. Thomas. I have to switch to Thomas because he's doing a lap now and he's way in front of the rest. It's Thomas Frauenrad and Chris Müller who will set that up. But Thomas Frauenrad's not improving at this point. He's a little bit around the same time that he did the last time. Still, he has the fastest lap, provisional pole, 1 minute 50 to go. And let's see what he can do. The pole, I like you, Ramphal. Yeah, you like everybody except for me. She only likes my dirty jokes.
Yeah, we'll leave that one there, and let's focus on the qualifying at hand as we got Thomas Raras ready to set his lap time. Let's see if he can improve. Only driver to see himself, well, I'm going to say the only driver, but he's one of few now to have set himself into the 2-minute lap time, and let's see what he can do on this occasion. Sadly not faster. Nope, he's a couple of tenths off his pace. Desert Penguin found himself a little bit of pace on that last lap, and slotted himself into P2s. Zvonimir Burek in that 300 BMW. He's going to be starting to move forward and hopefully build on a rather shaky first couple of races from Mr. Zvonimir Burek. We always see him Mr. Consistent and doing well, and yeah, it'll be nice to see where he can get up the grid. Niels van Handen, he's had a change into the Honda for the last race of this evening, and just trying to see if there's any other driver changes in vehicles, and I think that's all of that. We've got 3 drivers in that Ferrari GT class. Mr. Eric Miok, who is known as Mr. Eric Miok today, amidst everything, with that insane jump start at the start of race 2. I'd love to see him try and do that again and not get penalised for it. I don't know if he just had a monstrous start and nobody moved, or whether he actually did jump the start and just didn't get penalised for it. So
I don't know what it was, to be honest.
He just went through the middle of half the field. It was
yeah,
a glorious thing to see.
I was like really off guard there, and I thought, what the hell is happening here? He's just driving away, and when the lights were green, there he was in front. So normally he should be penalized for that, but he wasn't. So yeah, we can ask in Discord maybe what happened there. Wexfrom indeed in a lap here and close to the last part. Not improving, but yeah, didn't set a lap time yet, so he will get somewhere. I don't know where, but we will see in a bit. P6 it will be for him. Qualification is over, a maximum waiting time of 1 minute and 15 seconds, and let me see who's on a lap. It's Mr. Pereira. Wait, Mr. Burek is his closest with the Ferrari. So we have 4 people in the back. Eric Mjorkstein, Hillhorst, Nino Burek and Mats Hill, who are driving that Ferrari. And yeah, it seems to be a difficult car because nobody set a lap yet. But yeah, we will see. I think Nino will be the first one to set a lap time here. It's a 2 minute 11.9. Desert Penguin then improving on his lap time, and can he make the best of this exit here? I don't think it's enough, but it will be exciting to see. Can he take that position? No! 87 thousandths of a second between them.
That's a close grid, isn't it? That started out as an absolute landslide for Desert Penguin. He, I think, qualified on pole by 5 or 6 tenths in race 1, and yeah, he closed up into qualifying 2 for their qualifying session, and Desert Penguin really starting to sort of understand that BMW, as we found in the past sort of hour or so of him racing and whatnot. And yeah, it should be interesting. It's Thomas Brownrats then that's put it on pole ahead of Desert Penguin, ready for round 2 between those two. They did make contact in race 2. Let's hope that they don't in race 3. Chris Mullett, back in his infamous Audi, finds himself in P3 ahead of Thijs van der Hoorn, who's stuck it out with the Mercedes. I would have thought he would have changed to either the Porsche or the McLaren, but enjoying that Mercedes. Finds himself in the 606 Mercedes P4 ahead of Zvonimir Burek in that BMW. Jonathan Wackstrom in the Bentley finds himself in P6. Watch out for that guy. He won race 2 from P7 on the grid, so anything can happen to this guy. Niels van Handen, probably one of the best qualifying results I've seen from this guy in P7 ahead of Nino Burek. And then the guys that did not set a time, it's Mr. Pereira, Eddie Kaliski, Eric Miok, Stein Hillhorst, and then Matt Sill rounding up the grid as these guys start to move away. So, Guru, we've got another 20 minutes in our last race, and who are you putting on for the race win?
To be honest, I think that the podiums will go to Desert Penguin, Thomas Vrouwenrad and Thijs van der Hoorn. But I think it will be an exciting battle with Wexfrom, who will come closely from P6. And yeah, the rest I think will be a midfield battle somewhere. A lot of pace here. We have a green light. Oh, Jesus, they were all on pace exactly. They just went away there.
I think they found something out in this.
Yeah, I think so as well. They could just put in the throttle. Oh, that's Mr. Vrouwenrad.
Vrouwenrad's round, yeah.
Yep, that's Vrouwenrad's round. So there goes my prediction.
Chris Muller finds himself in the lead ahead of Desert Penguin. I think there's no technical formation lap that has been programmed into ACC. So these guys, as soon as it was allowed to move, these guys absolutely floored it and didn't let off.
Believe me, that Cracker, when he was here in race 1 and saw that, he's already changed it. Next week it will be different, and people will get penalized because it's off. But yeah, some way they saw that Eric Miok just went away, and they tried it all. And I was thinking that's a lot of pace for a start. Yeah, there was so much pace that Vrouwenrad misjudged the corner there. And like you said, Chris Muller then in P1, Desert Penguin now in P2, Thijs van der Hoorn in P3, Wexfrom to P5. The only thing I misjudged was Mr. Thomas Vrouwenrad, as Eric Miok just, what happened there? Let's see a replay here of Eric Miok. What happened?
Did he just loop it on the exit here? And
Yep.
yeah, sadly
Too
did.
much on the power there and turning that car around, and then too much on the power and hitting the barrier. So that's not a good start.
Oh, somebody else stopped on the outside of the right-hander there, and
Oh,
that's not how a car's supposed to look, is it, Mr. Signhill Horse? He's actually found himself through the ground. So rather impressively, he must have had an almighty crash, and
I think it's a connection.
As a permanent ramp there.
I think it's a connection issue there. Couldn't be different than that because normally we see if a connection issue occurs, people are flying or getting into the ground and everything. The most amazing pics you can take then. But yeah, that's not the way it should be. Chris Mueller leading the pack still with Desert Penguin on his tail here at half a second. Eric Mio again off track there, doing some donuts in the gravel there. That's not the way we should race. Nino Burek surprisingly doing well in that Ferrari, currently leading that pack and still really close to the Lexus of Mr. Pereira. So that's interesting to see. As Stain Hillers still is digging a hole for himself here.
He just put into the Twitch chat though that his game has froze for some reason. So I think it's just going to be a permanent ramp on the second.
So, Mr. Hillhorse, if you're watching, this is you at this point. So that's how you look. I'm wondering, you are there. There are cars. Oh, there he goes. So it's just switched over. So just got to say, for Sweetback and ACC feels so much more detailed than in iRacing. Really?
Yeah, we passed comment on this, me and Robin. We've done a few sort of laps together and bits and pieces, and we did a race into the weekend together a while back. But yeah, for some reason, the tyre model seems to feel more detailed in what it can feed back to you. And yeah, Robin Osteen, he's no stranger to making sure he's getting the most out of his equipment and whatnot with his Simucube and all his big fancy pedals. And yeah, he seems to be quite a force feedback analyst, should we say, in where to improve in the force feedback and whatnot, and he knows it way more than me. I just know it feels better, and that's about as much as I know, and Robin can get a bit more into it there.
I have to approve that one. Edward Woolley, thank you very much for following. Hi, you baddie boy.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, maybe the name in the chat. I don't know. Is it to me or is it to Impulse?
I do not know.
Me neither.
We will.
Well, we will see. So yeah, let us know. In the meantime, Chris Miller's still in the lead there. Desert Penguin 0.5 seconds away. We have a battle here with Thomas Vrouwenraads. That's a battle for P3 with Thijs van Hoorn and Mr. Wackstrom here in the middle. And in the back grid, we have Niels Manshanden fighting with Eddie Kaliski for P8. And off track from Mr. Chris Miller. Russo owes me money like 100k. Okay. I don't know why. I really feel off track now.
What? Yeah.
Why? Because I said so.
And it's Chris Muller. Let's just turn our attention back to the race because this battle up front is starting to heat up, Mr. Guru, and it's Mr. Desert Penguin that's starting to pile on the pressure of Chris Muller. Chris, one of our fastest guys in the community, but Desert Penguin, like we've said numerous times, is an absolute alien within the community. No stranger to ACC, and one guy that can definitely start to pile on the pressure on the back of Chris. So, going into the last chicane, not close enough on this scenario, as we can see from the driver sort of perspective. Driver will sit on the left-hand side of this, but just give you an insight as to what the driver can start to see now. He's firmly going to be focused ahead of Chris. He's not going to be looking at the back of that Audi. he's going to be focusing on his braking markers and trying to
At the
reduce
end
that
of
gap
this straight, we
because,
go
as you
now
can
to
see,
turn one into the turn one, so
starting
he's
to
gonna go
fall.
for the outside line, both of them go side by
Thank you,
side.
Mr. Morton.
So
I'm
where
just
we
going to
go
keep
right
on
now,
talking
so
and
he's
just
still
pretend that
defending
that
the
never
inside
happened.
line. Ruben Austin trying
So,
to look for a little bit of a
Mr.
situation.
Penguin
It's not gonna work out.
starting
My God,
to
that's
bring
lightning.
down the back,
And he's gonna
and
save it. That
Chris,
is a very good save from Ruben
with that
Austin going to turn
mid-engine
three at the
Audi,
moment.
you can see just
Well,
has a little bit more
there's
grip in the
Herbert,
corner
there's
and
some
sort of
Ruben Austin going down to
the
turn four.
mid-speed, and
Both of them
it's
with a
only
very
now
good
when it
exit,
starts
but
to get a little bit
look at who
closer
gets the
that you
better
start
one.
to
That
see
is
that
Ruben Austin,
BMW
who is
start
still
to close up
behind.
again.
So he's feeling the pressure. Turn
Um,
five.
Dips a wheel
Uphill
wrong, doesn't he, Mr.
left-hander.
Penguin, though? Just ever so
Yeah.
slightly coming out of the S's, and I think that's cost him quite a bit of time.
Yeah, absolutely. That little mistake cost him like, I think 4 tenths, 5 tenths maybe. He was really close, and now on 1.4, 1.6 on my monitors here. Niels Van Sanden. Let me see what happened here, because there was a mistake there. Yeah, there it is. Just losing the car there coming out of the S. How do you call it? Jesus, yeah, the triple S corner, I will call it. And he made a mistake and went into the pits, and he even quit. Like you said, not what we want to see, but yeah, they do it, no problem. Thomas Vrouwenraad's 1 second behind Thijs van der Hoorn. It's losing a little bit of time here. Needs to get in the rhythm again because he is the closest one in the battle. What I noticed in race 1, the battles were really close. In race 2, the first like 13, 14 minutes was really close. But now it's starting to create some gaps. Chris Muller driving away from Desert Penguin after that mistake on 1.6. And we know that Desert can be quicker than that. 1.8 behind it is Thijs van der Hoorn, and then Thomas Vrouwenraad's 1 second behind. So it's still close, but we saw it a little bit closer.
Yeah, we did, and it should be interesting, especially towards the end of the race, because we know Desert Penguin to be a little bit faster than Chris Muller, or at least he was starting to be on the back of the guy, and we also know Thomas Vrouwenraad, as he set the purple lap and he set the pole position lap time in qualifying, he was the fastest out of the bunch of them by not that much over Desert Penguin, but there was quite a considerable gap to those guys behind those two, and yeah, it should be interesting to see Thomas's race pace, because I think if he can find himself past Thijs van der Hoorn, he's got maybe like a second or two of gap to try and close down, and you know, we're only halfway through the race now, coming up to, so I think there's a potential for Thomas Vrouwenraad to start to get back into this race.
Yeah, I think so as well. And he's really closing in that gap. As Eddie Kaliski, let me see it back. Curb 1 comes over the curb 2. Nothing too much. Too early on the throttle. Too much speed in the exit here, and just lost it. And look at the front of that BMW. It's not looking too fine here. So that will have an impact on his power, acceleration, and everything. Eddie Kaliski is now P8, so yeah, I think he's still 7 seconds in front, so maybe he can manage to keep a little bit of pace. Thomas Vrouwenraad's now 0.2 seconds away from Thijs van der Hoorn, really attacking him right now. But yeah, we saw it in different races as well. They are close to each other, they can follow, but can they make a move? You have to be a little bit aggressive on this track, in my opinion, to just press that car beside somebody in a safe manner, but still aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. There's realistically 3 massive opportunities to make an overtake in this sort of racetrack, and one's coming up right ahead of us. That's turn 1, leading into turn 2. If you can pull alongside out of the slipstream here, as we saw Thomas Vrouwenraad at least attempt, I think he could have done that. There's a prime opportunity there. The second one is down into the hairpin, the slowest part of the track. But you really have to be, like you say, rather aggressive, rather narrow on the entry into that corner. And yeah, you have to really position your car. Quite easy to defend if you know exactly what you're doing. And well, we can see Thijs van der Hoorn knowing exactly what to do. The last one is coming out of the last chicane. If you get a really good run out of 130R, the very fast left-hander, again with the slipstream, you'll be able to pull alongside. But like you say, very aggressive moves need to be done just to pull alongside these guys sometimes, especially when you see both drivers on the limit like you're seeing now.
Yeah, absolutely, and I totally agree with you there. That three, parts on the track that you can do it, but yeah, you can also see that the Mercedes has a lot of straight line power there, because in the slipstream they cannot do it. They need to do it like Russell did. I think it was driving a little bit of a different line to get more exit speed and hopefully hope for the best on the end. But it's difficult to do it. Following a car is really difficult because you have to watch your braking markers, but also the car in front of you because you don't want to pun them. And you need to be really close out of that Casio triangle corner there to get the most of speed on that straight to make that move. And 0.4 of a second was proven to be a lot too much, to be honest. And he's losing time at this point. We don't know what's happening. It's the closest battle on track because Chris Muller is still in first position, and 1.3 seconds away from that is Desert Penguin, followed by Thijs van der Hoorn on P3 with 3 seconds of a gap. But this battle is all for that podium position.
Yeah, and just going to feed off what you said there, I think it's very sort of easy to be sat behind a car and just kind of follow exactly what they're doing. And like you say, sometimes a change in the line, focusing on an exit speed or trying to just close down a gap at various points in different ways can really set drivers apart. And one thing we've started to see with the drivers that are maybe new to sim racing, so the likes of rather famously, well, I don't think I might be mentioning Morten Peelman Jensen. When he first started, if he was following a car, you'd see that he would basically be mirroring what the car ahead is doing. And one thing we've been trying to work on and improve on is how he can drive differently to make sure that he's not just sat behind a car, he's actually fighting for position. And one thing you'll start to see from these drivers up ahead at the moment, Thomas Bramratz, Thijs van der Hoorn, both experienced drivers, and you'll see Thijs just takes a little bit of a more inside line there, trying to defend the inside, make sure that Thomas doesn't come alongside that, and Thomas just trying to maximize the exit or run it around a little bit extra and just try and maintain the speed a little bit more to try and reduce that gap. So you can see sort of very similar lines being taken, but ever so slightly different, and what that will eventually do is allow like Thomas Bramratz to start to close that gap and start to reduce it, and before long I think we'll see a move be at least attempted alongside Thijs.
Yeah, with still 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go, I see that Desert Penguin is now creeping up to Chris Muller. He's now within the second, and we have 2 battles on our hand. And the first one is our leader, Chris Muller. Desert Penguin behind him on 0.91 second around. He's trying to make a move there. But I have to say that Chris Muller is really steady on that Audi. Desert is driving that BMW for the rest of the races. Race 1, he won like 13, 14 seconds in front of everybody. But yeah, it's like... following a car, getting close to a car is normally a little bit easier, but getting past that car makes it harder. In the meantime, Wexstrom and Zvonimir Burek having a battle here because Zvonimir is now closing into Wexstrom. Wexstrom really steady in those first races, won race number 2, and now he's followed by Zvonimir, who had a different and difficult weekend, racing to the weekend, I have to say.
Yeah, one thing that Jonathan probably is struggling with in that Bentley is the track temperature. We didn't mention that one. It has dropped by about 5 or 6 degrees, which is quite a noticeable drop. And I think one thing we just saw then, as he did make it a little bit loose on the exit of the S's, which allows Zvonimir to go past there, was he's probably struggling just a little bit for the rear end stability of that car. And you can just see rather unstable at that point, and all that's doing is allowing him to lose a little bit of lap time, sadly, and why we're probably not seeing him as high up as we have seen him in the first 2 races.
Yeah, no, it was by the mistake, as you said. Oh, where is he? Oh, there he is. Nino Burek was telling you he's doing an amazing job. Yeah, he did, because he's still leading that class because 2 people left the server. So he's still in front, but made a little bit of a mistake there. I was looking at this battle here. It's Thijs van Hoorn against Thomas Vrouwenrad still for that P3 position. And you can see that Vrouwenrad is really closing that gap. Then, losing a bit of time, then closing a gap again. And now really close on the bumper here of Mr. Thijs van Hoorn. But yeah, he really needs that overspeed. And I think, to be honest, that the Mercedes is more stable here and has the better exit speed. Let's go and, you can see it. It's not really that he's closing that gap. He's really stuck behind it. And yeah, I don't know what he needs to do because it's too far away to make a brave move. It's just taking out competition then if you do that.
Yeah, one thing that I could probably say that the Porsche's exceptional on is its brakes and its slow speed corners. So you'll see through Sector 1, Thomas Vrouwenrad start to reduce that gap, and you can see nose to tail, but that gap will start to form the second that they go through the mid and the high speed corners, because that Mercedes at high speed has exceptional stability. One thing that you might know as they get round towards the end of the lap is as they come out of Spoon, which is the left-hander that leads onto the back straight, you'll see Thijs every now and then just get it a little bit loose on exit, and that's just because with the Mercedes having a front-engined car, they have very little rear-end stability at corners such as Spoon. But obviously, it's the complete opposite in the Porsche, with it being a rear-engined car, and it'll allow Thomas to just have a little bit better traction. If you can stay with him on this lap, and that mistake does come out of Thijs, you'll see just that gap reducing little bit by little bit. So it's not going to be a fight that will be won in a slipstream for Thomas. He's going to have to wait until these little mistakes start to form. You can just see a little bit of a wiggle coming out from Thijs. And if he sits well within this slipstream, he knows that he's overall starting to reduce that gap. The top-end speed of the Mercedes is very strong, and the Porsche's is very weak. So that's why we're seeing that gap starting to form down the straight. But as you can see, a little bit closer on this lap and starting to gradually reduce the gap. But he hasn't got that much time left, Guru. It's only under 2 minutes now for him to make a move.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, we see that Desert Penguin is now in 1.1 of a second and now tries to make the move on the inside here. And I think it's the last lap. Ooh, that was a close, almost contact there between the both of them. But yeah, he made the move done here on Chris Muller. Brilliant on the inside, lay braking and just make it stuck there. So he takes now the lead then, and Chris Muller will drop to P2. Oh! And a mistake there of Chris Muller, and now he has two people there for that podium. Ooh, that's really close racing there, and maybe can somebody make move from that? I don't know. The Porsche was alongside the Mercedes there, but he still managed to get it, and without any real contact, maybe a little bit of scratching, door scratching, but that's racing. But yeah, Chris Muller almost lost a complete podium there, as Thijs van der Hoorn and Thomas Vrouwenrad are really, really close to getting that position.
Yeah, one thing that I did note was a huge flash of the lights from Chris Muller as Desert Penguin came past. Was an aggressive move, but it was definitely fair along the lines, and well within the rights of being able to do that. He just came across a little bit aggressively, and I think from Chris's point of perspective, would have preferred just a little bit more room. But yeah, Desert Penguin ran away with it, and then obviously due to the mistake, has now formed a sizable gap, and all he needs to do is nurse that car home. As Chris Muller rejoined, though, we saw very opportunistic driving from this guy, Mr. Thomas Vrouwenrad, who decided to stick it down the inside and try and go with Chris, try and get past Thijs. Unfortunately, didn't work out. Great defending from Thijs there. I think it was very good sort of spatial awareness from Thijs, and yeah, I think unfortunately that was the last lap, and it might end up the way that we see it now, but definitely for the race win, it's Desert Penguin with that move on the last lap that secured himself his second win of the day in the BMW. He takes second, and some big weaves. Chris Muller takes second there ahead of Thijs van der Hoorn. Thomas Vrouwenrad's in P4 with the fastest lap there, and you know, sort of celebratory crashes coming out from the boys. Zvonimir Burek. He finishes P5 in the BMW there ahead of Mr. Jonathan Waxstrom, and who looked like he might have been struggling in race 3 there. Mr. Pereira, best result of the weekend for him. He finishes in P7 and brings that Lexus across the line ahead of Mr. Eddie Kaliski, who's yet to finish, but looks like he's on set to finish P8 ahead of Nino Burek, who is, P9. The car that you saw behind Eddie Kaliski there was Mr. Matt Sill. He's in P10, embracing in the never give up attitude, and I think he's had a few offs that we might not have seen, but having a good old fight, a good old bit of a laugh, and that will come to an end of race 3 and the end of Racing to the Weekend, episode 70.
Absolutely correct there. And we had some fun races. And in chat, Tom Dad, well, thanks guys. As always, great racing and quieter commentating. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, guys, hopefully you tune in. I think on Tuesday we still have our race into the week, and let's go with that. For the rest, I wish you all a great weekend. Mr. Tom Carroll, thank you very much for helping me out in the stream here. Always a pleasure to do it with two persons. I think the commentary is better that way. So thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure.
As Russo just collected the 5 cents again.
Every time, dude.
Yep. And he's gonna save it. That is a very good save from Robin.
Jesus.
Turn 3 at the moment. We just went through the under.
Then I will do some confetti.
Both of them with a very good exit, but look at who gets
it's weekend.
Who is still behind. Soli's feeling the pleasure. Turn 5. The uphill left-hander, and both of them still go hard.
And both of them still go hard. So thank you very much all for watching, and see you next time. I hope you Tuesday on iRace into the week. And see you all later. Bye-bye.
The battle's coming now. The fury shakes the ground. I've come to take my crown. I'm rising up, my heart is pounding, ready and not the clock is counting. This is my moment. This is my moment. This is my moment. Whoa, I was born for greatness. Oh, a legend in the making, deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. Whoa, come on, try and take it. Whoa, it all comes down to this and deep in my bones. Oh yeah, I know I am the champion. You know I'm out for blood. reviens.